Hello, everybody. This is David Lewis. I'm the Regional Training Director for the Dallas Destination Imagination, speaking to you from the Story Center at the Downtown Dallas Public Library. They've got a wonderful new creative space, and we're happy to be able to use it and bring to you another episode in Things We Appraisers Wish Team Managers Knew. Today we're going to be talking about how is it you fill out that tournament data form. About 5, 6 years ago, I remember seeing a team at the global finals, and they had two characters that were loosely based on Captain Kirk and Mr. Spock, and Kirk was going around and looking at the appraisers and says, "Spock, who are these people?" Of course, he loved to do the pausing thing that Shatner does, and so Spock pulls out his tricorder and says, "They are called app raisers, Captain. But Spock, what do they want?" No one knows. And I know that's how team managers and certainly team members feel about appraisers, because they say, what is it that they're after? What do they want? We don't know what we're trying to communicate. How do we get the message across to them? It happens in the tournament data form. Because what they're looking for is where you scored the points. They're on the same team as you are. And so I just let that sink in for a minute, because they get just as frustrated as you do when you don't tell them where the points are and then they can't find them. It's really frustrating at the end of the day to say, I know they were trying to say something, but I didn't get it. So first off, just think of this as an elevator pitch. I'm going to move over here and you can see the elevator pitch. Back in the 1980s, it was very popular to talk about elevator pitches. That was the big buzzword. And the concept was very simple, that in 20 seconds, you're in an elevator with a stranger and they say, "So what do you do?" You can tell them in 20 seconds what it is that you do. And so that was the thing that was very big for networking, the early stages of networking. Tell people what it is you do in 20 seconds or less. And at normal speaking speed, that winds up being just under 40 words. So think of 36 words. I like 36. That's a nice, easy number to remember. So how would you do an elevator pitch if it's a total stranger? Let's change it. What if it were a teacher? How would you change your elevator pitch if you were speaking to a teacher there in the elevator? How would it be if you were speaking to your grandmother? Your grandmother? Yes, because the appraisers, those people there with the clipboards, they're strangers. They're strangers and teachers and engineers and hairstylists, electricians, systems analysts. They're grandfathers, moms, dads, aunts, and uncles. 99% of them want your team to do well. They want all the teams to do well. They want to be entertained. They want to be uplifted. They want to be ennobled. They want to be your best, and they want to be your cheerleaders. And so what they're doing is they want to find what that is. And so you get a chance to write a letter to an eager reader who wants to find where are the points. Does that give you a slightly different view of what a tournament data form is about? With that in mind, look at the challenge language. When the challenge, when you're talking about this grandmother or this teacher talking about it, how cool would it be if you're using the language of the challenge itself? If the language is talking about a shadowy character, then you want to talk about how we stiffened this portion of the costume so that it would show the interplay between light and dark. If you've got something about cryptography or steganography, I'm using some of the scientific challenges of the past. If you're looking at those, then you want to explain how it is that because we wrap this particular message around a stick of a specific diameter, all the letters line up and you get a clear message. So, because that's really what they're wanting, is a clear message of their own. So if you're using the language of the challenge itself, That's one thing that the appraisers have been trained on, is they've read the challenge, they've read it several times, and you start using that term, and they say, then this will apply to 1C, this will apply to 4D.
Guess what day it is? It's game day here at Dallas Public Library. Do you have what it takes to win that Domino's, Connect 4, their game? Join us on the 4th floor and you'll find out at 2 p.m. Again, game day will begin at 2 p.m. on the 4th floor. Do you have a minute to win it? Brought to you by the friends of the Dallas Public Library.
Maybe we can edit that part out. Now that you know, once you've mentioned the challenge language, you want to start telling the appraisers where and when your team scores the point. You say when the giant squid squeezes on the little girl's backpack and the gummy bears pop out, that's when we're scoring the points. If you're talking about an evil octopus who speaks in backward haiku, that's what you need to be telling them. You need to tell them where and when, and then you need to tell them how we do it. And there is where you have to work at being brief, because you start wanting to tell them all that cool stuff. They're going to be asking questions after the performance about how, and so you can abbreviate that part. Just say we used pneumatic techniques, or we used hydraulic techniques, or we used a green screen to do this. Whatever, just use a 2 or 3 word descriptor for that. Once you've told them how, you may want to tell them why. I know that you like to keep a big secret, and you like to avoid spoilers, but if you say that the change from the red to blue in the king's costume shows that he's now a mellower person, then sure, that's what you want to tell them. So now, to recapitulate, think of it as an elevator pitch. Use the language of the challenge. Tell them where and when your team scores the points, briefly, succinctly, because they've got a lot of reading. They've got to read this for every team all day long. At Globals, several days. And tell them where and when, tell them how you did it, and tell them why. Tell them where to find those points. Tell them when those points are being scored, how you're scoring them. Tell them why it is, so that it fits into the story. You do that, and you'll be a lot less frustrated at those people with the clipboards.